export pricing, there are other elements that are included in quotation, and these are to be determined by the exporter in conjunction with the customer abroad. Export prices are quoted in various ways. The two major systems available for use in quoting price are known as trade terms. The use of such terms as FOB, FAS, CIF, C&F, that's CFR and CIF, is important with regard to specifying not only where the exporter responsibility and liability ends, but they determine the cost that the exporter will bear. Thus, it is customary in calculation of price quotation to add the appropriate cost to the basic price. There are two systems of definition that can be used by exporter throughout the world. One is Incoterms, the other is the revised American Foreign Trade Definition. But Incoterm is what many will use, and that's what we are looking at. The trade term definition generally has no status at law unless there is a specific legislation providing for them. If seller and buyer agree to their acceptance as part of the contract of sales, the definition becomes legally binding because they already agree and incorporated it. Incoterm 2020 started in 1936. It has undergone different revision. The latest one came out last year and take effect from January, hence the word Incoterm 2020. The Incoterm is a rule of International Chamber of Commerce. International Chamber of Commerce actually bring out this rule to guide trade transaction. It separates transaction cost and risk between buyer and seller in an international trade transaction. There are 11 of them. And what I want to do now is to demonstrate to you how it works. So we will now go through the Incoterms. So there are 11 of them actually. But the one, you notice the one I worked on right now, and that's the one that should be of interest to you. That's FOB, CFR, and CIF. That's the one. If you are going by air, it will be CPT, FCA, CPT, and CIP. FCA, CPT, and CIP. But I will just walk you through the process. I mean, each of them, just for you to know them. But like I said, the one that you should be more interested in are the one that you will often come across in your own transaction. And let's go through it. Now, if you look at this now, you will see exporter's warehouse, airline terminal, port of loading, onboard the vessel, international boundary, terminal at destination, place at destination. If the first one is called ex-works. What does ex-works mean? In ex-works, the risk and cost of the exporter ends at his warehouse. And from then on, the importer carry the risk. The risk and cost, that means the cost of moving the goods ends when the exporter delivers it in his warehouse. But look at the next one. It's called FCA, free carrier. The risk and the cost of the exporter ends at the terminal. Airline terminal, shipping line terminal, railway terminal, at the terminal. That means when you deliver to that point, the importer takes charge from them on. FAA, free alongside ship. The risk and the cost of the exporter ends at the port of loading, right by the ship, overlooking the vessel. As soon as the container is dropped by the side of the ship, overlooking the vessel, the risk and cost of the exporter ends, and that of the importer start from there. Then FOB, the risk and cost of the exporter ends while the goods are on board the vessel. You notice the risk and cost has been ending at the same point, up to this point. But look at the next one. In CFR, the risk of the exporter ends on board the vessel, but the cost of transporting the goods to destination, the exporter's cost extend to transporting the goods, not just to the port of loading, but to destination. Not just to the port of loading, but to destination. CFR. Look at CIF. The risk of the exporter ends on board the vessel. The risk ending means that if anything happened after that point, importer bear the brunt. Importer is the one responsible. Importer is the one to carry the risk. It's like I'm shipping goods from Nigeria, it's going to China. The vessel capsided in South Africa before it gets to China. Who has lost money? The importer. If we do CFR, the importer has lost money because exporter already delivered as soon as the good is on board the vessel. In CIF, the cost of transport and cost of insurance, freight and insurance cost to the destination is borne by the exporter. Now, in CPT is like CFR. The risk we earn where FCA earn at the terminal, but the cost of transport to destination. This is what I use. CPT is what I use for the PAP. Most of the shipment I do to the UK, this is what I use. I do CPT. The risk ends at the terminal. When I get it to NACO, my risk ends there. But the cost of transporting to London Heathrow, I will bear that cost. Risk for CIP ends here at the airline terminal, but the cost of transport and insurance and at destination. Then deliver at place. The risk at this point ends. Can you see the risk is now ending at the destination in the importer's country? my risk end when the good deliver to a terminal there, and I'll bear the cost to that destination. DPU, the risk ends. Can you see it? Can you see where the risk ends? And then at a place. But look at DDP. The DPU is delivered at place unloaded. But DDP, delivered duty paid. The risk ends at this place, but the freight charge and duty payment end at destination. So in FOB, you can see that packaging cost by the seller, loading cost by the seller, delivery to place by the seller, export duty, if any, by the seller, origin terminal charge by the seller, loading charge by the seller, but the carriage cost to the end by the buyer under FOB. So under FOB transaction, you will notice there is no other cost here, only shipping line terminal charge. Under FOB transaction, for sesame seed, can you see it? No cost here. But look at the next one I'm going to show you. This is CFR. You will notice that exporter is now bearing cost of transport. Freight is bearing the cost of transport to destination, and you see it. Do you notice something here? Freight. If you look at this one, you notice there is no freight here. Now you can see freight is here. That's the cost of transport destination because this is a CIF. But if you look at this FOB price, you notice it's 1,000. You see this CFR freight charge, then insurance. Look at the insurance. You notice cost of carriage and insurance borne by the seller, cost of carriage and insurance. And that's buyer bear the other cost. And you can see, so you can see shipping line end for FOB, freight charge, and then insurance cost. And you can see the way the price is changing from 400 to 420 to 425. Let me talk about participation. Ability to overcome the challenges of export business leads to great business potential beyond your imagination. This is because it's capable of creating repeat business for the same buyer, refer to other buyers, replicating the business model in other countries, redeeming the country image abroad, recruiting multiple partners and distributors from abroad, and reducing broken bridges between nations, and raking in more income than your projection.